This is what it's all about, isn't it? Hitting the open road, getting your daily fix, feeling that runner's high. If you're anything like me, being a runner is your identity. It's who you are. Now think about this. What would it be like to run healthy, strong, and fast into your middle-aged years and beyond, without any nagging pain, sidelining injuries, or visits to the physical therapist? Imagine doing what you love to do, year after year, even keeping up with runners 2 or 3 age groups below you. How cool would that be? Sounds like a pipe dream? Well, I'm here to tell you that it's a very real possibility for you. If you do things a little differently than almost every recreational and competitive runner out there, and if you decide to take charge of your running future before it's too late. See, here's the problem. You have a 70% chance of getting injured as a runner. 70%! That's crazy! I know, because I've treated over 3,000 runners and triathletes over the past 13 years. Maybe it's already happened to you. My name is Scott Miller, and I'm a board-certified sports clinical specialist and a certified strength and conditioning specialist. I have a thriving physical therapy practice in Michigan focused on runners and triathletes. I also lecture on sports functional training at the national, regional, and local levels independently and as part of the teaching faculty for advances in clinical education. I'm only telling you that for one reason. I want you to know that I'm passionate about working with runners and triathletes like you. I've made it my life's work. But I don't just work with runners. I'm a diehard runner myself. My wife and I train together, and over the past 20 years, I've competed in 89 running, cycling, and multi-sport events. Everything from local 5Ks to marathons to Ironman triathlons. I've even done 2 15-hour adventure races. Yeah, this stuff is in my blood. So like I said, I've treated about 3,000 runners over the past 13 years in my clinic. At most, I can take on about 300 patients a year. As the premier clinic servicing runners and triathletes in Michigan, we have to turn people away. It got me thinking, what if there was a way to help every runner who was suffering from running pain or injury, regardless of whether they lived in my area or not? And what if there was a way to help runners prevent those injuries from ever happening? Here's the thing, there's nothing magical about the work that goes on in my office. It helps people get back onto the road to recovery, but you know what? You can get these same exact diagnostic tools, the same tests, and the same exact exercises as the runners in my practice get. But here's the catch. You're not going to have to come to my office, and it's not going to cost you the hundreds of thousands of dollars my patients spend every year. I can help you as if you were right here in my clinic. Whether it's an IT band that's tugging at your knee or hips, or a hamstring strain that's been slow to heal, or weakness in your hips, maybe your lateral rotators, or the bottom of your feet inflamed, as happens so often with plantar fasciitis. Or maybe you're strong enough but you can't effectively recruit your glute medius, which is one of the most important muscles for runners. Here's what the Smart Solution does for you. It takes all the accumulated diagnostic tools, tests, and exercises I've developed for runners and triathletes over the past 13 years. It gives you all the knowledge I've gained treating over 3,000 runners during that time, and it puts it all together for you in an easy-to-use ebook, video and audio, downloadable to your iPad, iPod, or iPhone, or computer for instant access. It's like getting your very own physical therapist, me, in a box, on command 24/7 from the comfort of your own home at a fraction of what you pay for even one visit to my clinic. I may be putting my own practice out of business by offering the solutions this way, but I love the fact that I can help so many more of us runners. So if these techniques aren't that hard and they can prevent runners from getting injured in the first place, why don't more runners use them? And why don't other physical therapists offer the same advice? Good questions. First of all, a big reason more runners don't use these types of methods is because there are a lot of myths out there about running. As a runner, have you ever heard these running facts? You can run into muscle shape. Just running is the best way to get stronger and prevent injuries. Having strong legs is the most important thing to be a good runner. To prevent running pain, you can follow any popular well-rounded strengthening approach that's applicable to all runners. If your feet pronate, or you're told that you're a pronator, it means you have bad biomechanics. If you ramp up your running miles responsibly, you won't get injured. Well, these popular statements are just not true. But a lot of runners out there swear by this advice, and it can actually make an injury worse. So why don't other physical therapists promote the same things I do? Well, first of all, most physical therapists aren't runners themselves. They simply haven't studied it the way I have as a runner, and as a therapist whose complete focus is runners. The other reason? If they offered a program like Smart Running Solution, it might expose the fact that all their patients don't need them. Who knows? I'm really not concerned. I'd rather help 10,000 runners a year with Smart Running Solution than 300 a year at most in my clinic. I'll get into details in a second, but here's what you can expect from your Smart Running Solution program. Solid running so you can enjoy your daily runs worry-free. Being a better runner than ever before with the right balance of strength, recruitment, and flexibility. Getting faster with techniques that address what running fundamentally is step by step. The future's looking brighter already, isn't it? It certainly helped Zach Baker, Boston Marathon finisher and 3-time qualifier. With Scott's experience as a runner and Ironman triathlete, he understands what endurance athletes are after and how to get us there. Scott has helped me balance my rehab with my racing goals so that I can continue training even while correcting the root cause of my injuries to prevent a reoccurrence. As a multiple-time Boston qualifier, I can say that Scott's analysis and treatment have helped me become a better, stronger, and more fundamentally sound runner. So, how is this going to help you? Well, here's what I've learned from treating over 3,000 runners and what I can help you with. The key difference between working hard and running smart, and how you can save both time and running health. How you can spot weak hotspots even before you get hurt. What common patterns are seen over and over again for someone with IT band pain. What the culprit is behind your patellar tendonitis or runner's knee and patellofemoral pain, and which simple exercises can hone in on them. How you can see muscle recruitment problems with your gluteus medius, a super important muscle for runners. By the end of this video, you'll know how you can unlock these truths. What it means if you keep having chronic hamstring injuries, especially high hamstring issues. Which overlooked muscle is at fault if you have plantar fasciitis or tibial stress fractures? Why being able to turn on a muscle at the right time is so key, and how you can achieve this. Which core muscle is the easiest to strengthen and usually most visible? Okay, I know you're asking yourself this question, right? How is this going to be different from all the other solutions you've tried that haven't worked? The answer to your running pain is not icing, resting, ibuprofen, or knee bands. Maybe you've already tried massage, electrostim, active release, prolotherapy, or barefoot running. Our strategy will be to use an evidence-based approach that places you at the center of a typical running cycle. Meaning, we'll be dissecting what exactly running is at its most fundamental components and then test you, your body, how it moves, how it recruits muscles, how it flexes or doesn't. For each step of running, what we're going to do is test each and every one of your relevant muscle groups, and then diagnose exactly which muscles are weak, inflexible, or badly recruited at exactly which point of the process. One of the biggest misconceptions is the idea that a runner has strong legs, hips, or core because they run. In fact, it's exactly the opposite. You can't run into muscular shape. To fundamentally be a strong, smart runner, you need to address your areas of imbalance and integrate specific exercises to begin taking smart strides. Are you beginning to see how this is a little more than resting and icing or any other band-aid approach? The thing that's maybe hard but important to accept is that the pain or injury you have, which may feel local to one part of your body, is actually just a symptom of a larger broken kinetic chain. Because your knee or hips, foot, or hamstrings don't move in isolation. Instead, they're working in concert with all the other parts of your entire body to effect a stride. For example, the patterns seen over and over again with IT band pain, one of the most common injuries for runners, are not only a tight IT band, as many of you repeatedly may have been told, but also delayed muscle recruitment of gluteus maximus, weakness in the back fibers of gluteus medius, and late pronation observed during running gait. This is why the answer to what's wrong isn't found in the tests themselves, which, by the way, are the same exact screening diagnostic tools I use for my patients in person at my clinics. See, there's nothing magical about the tests themselves or being in my clinic. The real answers are found with you. When you have the same exact screening diagnostic tools that I have in my clinic, but at your command 24/7, you'll be able to easily answer the question, what's wrong? It's really that simple. And by selecting screening tests and exercises that mimic real-world movement, not weightlifting and static forms, we can tell better what really happens when the rubber hits the road. Doing the types of movements required in running is what we call functional training. Think about it. Does it really make sense to do double leg knee extensions to improve your quad strength for running? Of course not. Our screening tests are all about real-world movement, functional strength. A much better exercise for a runner would be a single leg partial squat to strengthen the quadriceps to simulate the phase of running during your single limb stance phase. So, how can you help design the program that's best for you? First off, your body's going to tell you exactly what's wrong, what's weak, what's inflexible, and what's not being recruited properly. There's a series of 12 simple tests that encompass the fundamentals of what running actually is, and then quickly identifies which of your muscles need to pitch in more at each step. It's an amazingly simple concept. Your body will tell you what your body specifically needs. And how will you know what your body's trying to tell you? Well, there's a no-nonsense, clinically defined list of criteria of what is a pass or fail for each of the 12 steps. It's your body that's, in effect, designing your own program. For each test failed, you're given a set of specific functional corrective exercises to laser target that issue. Because what we know is your weakness is not the same as your friends or your spouse's. Your biomechanical profile is as unique as your fingerprints. So, let's not waste your time making you go through exercises that you don't need. This program takes some effort on your part, but it's simple and clear. The beauty of the program is that you can focus on just the things you need to focus on. And keep in mind, this program wasn't designed overnight. I've been using the Smart Running Solution program for over 13 years. I just didn't call it that until now. It's been road tested and proven successful on over 3,000 runners and triathletes in my practice. Here are the main things I've been hearing runners like you ask for. I want to be able to predict if I might get injured or where exactly my deficiency is. What are the telltale signs or clues? I want to recover quickly or prevent the injury from even happening at all. I don't have a lot of time. Give me an individualized, personalized solution that's right for just me. I don't want to waste time doing exercises that others may need. I want to spend my time doing only what my body needs. Provide me with more anatomy-based understanding about what's going on with my body when I run. It's not enough for me to be told what to do. I also want to know why I should do it because it'll help me to better stick with the training. Runner and triathlete Terry Abnett had this to say. Scott helped me with my physical therapy after I had arthroscopic hip surgery. Scott's expertise in working with injured runners and his clinical experience in hip rehab allowed me to return back to running long-distance races and triathlons without any pain. So, how exactly is Smart Running structured? It was designed to be simple and doable in 3 easy steps. The first step is the functional runners tests. And these are simple self-tests to identify any areas of deficiency in strength, flexibility, or muscle recruitment. And these are defined as pass and fail. And they're easy to do at home with no props needed. The second step is to understand the implications. What are the consequences of each failed test? And then learn how it's making you run the way you do. The third step are the 19 functional endurance exercises. Which exercises specifically target your identified deficiencies, and see how you can target each relevant muscle group. With these 3 easy steps, you'll start the process of correcting your imbalances. Here's what half marathoner Christy Young had to say. During the early part of training for the March of Dimes half marathon, I started to experience right leg numbness. Another PT, who's also an avid runner, recommended that I see Scott, which was the best advice I ever got. After treatment, recommendations of shoes, running form, and exercises for my glutes and core, I'm back to running pain-free and no numbness. I fully credit Scott for getting me back on the road. And two-time marathoner Tom Goodwin. The key to getting any injured athlete healthy and back to their peak performance is a comprehensive approach from head to toe. Scott specializes in examining the running athlete as a whole unit and truly understands their inner relationship. It's been a joy and an honor working closely with him over the years. You've heard what other runners have gotten out of the program. Now let's talk about you. Are you finally fed up with nagging pain and injuries? Are you ready to start running stronger? Maybe even hitting PRs as you move into the next age bracket? Isn't it time you kick your running injuries to the curb once and for all? Your pain-free and injury-free running future can start now. As soon as you get your hands on the Smart Running solution, that's the moment that you start your road to recovery and a healthy, smart, pain-free running future. No more wasted time chasing down physical therapy appointments, and no more having to miss valuable work or personal time to schedule them in. And forget about resting. It doesn't work in healing you and just costs you time. So, what exactly do you get with the program? You get a 125-page ebook featuring 12 functional screening tests with a clinically defined criteria of what constitutes a pass versus fail for each test. You get the Functional Endurance Exercise Training Program, which has 19 exercises that correspond to each functional test, complete with detailed instructions for movement, reps, and step-by-step pictures. You get awesome video and audio files featuring all 19 exercises with images and voice to guide each exercise. You can copy these onto your iPhone, iPod, or iPad to carry with you to the office, gym, or on the road. Detailed outlines of implications of shortcomings of each muscle group. Understand what it means when each muscle group isn't adequately strong, flexible, or recruited. Each has different consequences for your body, injury hot zone, and running future. And there's more. You get an easy-to-understand glossary of running anatomy concepts with guiding images. You get a proven work plan to schedule training load in a responsible way. You get an individualized worksheet featuring a customized assessment and work plan to pair each failed screening test with the perfect exercises. You get a clear overview of running biomechanics fundamentals and movement dysfunctions to help pull it all together. The program book features interactive links to quickly and easily navigate. Just click to get from each failed test to a specific exercise to target your problem. The best part is this digital program is downloadable, so you can easily download the ebook, video, and audio files to your iPhone, iPad, or iPod to grab and go for your workout at home, in the gym, or while you're traveling. Will the Smart Running solution work for you? Well, here's what I can tell you. I've seen it work for thousands of other runners. Each one of these cured runners proves clinically over and over again that all of us can get back out there on the roads and trails. What it takes is training with a few simple, smart exercises that are specifically right for us. Combine that with the right functional training to mimic the real-world movements of what's actually required by running. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, it is. If you can do that, I promise you it'll work for you the same way. Let's consider the alternative. Let's say you get lucky and you find a therapist who's able to squeeze you in. Twice a week for just 12 weeks. Even if you have great insurance, you're looking at $30 copays. Twice a week for 12 weeks, bare minimum, you're talking at least $720. Now, that's not even considering all the driving around back and forth for appointments during business hours. Does your employer let you off whenever you want? And if you're self-employed, what's your time worth? I have patients who spend thousands on physical therapy, and you know what? They say it's worth every penny if it gets them back on the road. Of course, we haven't even talked about lost time running, and you can't put a price tag on that. But you know what? With a Smart Running solution, you get the complete program, the 125-page ebook featuring 12 screening tests, the Functional Endurance Exercise Training Program, video and audio files featuring all 19 exercises that you can download to your iPhone, iPod, or iPad, plus much, much more. You essentially get your own physical therapist in a box, on demand, 24/7 from the comfort of your own home. And instead of spending hundreds or even thousands that my clinical patients have paid for the same exact tools, tests, and exercises, your investment is less than the cost of walking in my door. The entire program is just $57. Kind of a no-brainer, isn't it? And I'll make it even more of a no-brainer. Give Smart Running Solution a try. Perform the self-help test in Chapter 3 to identify any areas of imbalance in strength, flexibility, or recruitment. Understand how these imbalances relate to running injuries, prevention, or performance in Chapter 4. Go to work with your recommended running-specific exercises in Chapter 5 to correct your imbalances. Go ahead and even download everything to your iPhone or iPod, and see if you're not the strongest runner you've ever been in 60 days from now. I'm confident you'll feel the difference, just like the thousands of other runners before you. But if for any reason whatsoever, the Smart Running Solution doesn't do what you wanted it to, let us know. We'll refund every penny of your purchase, no questions asked. I created this program because it came to a point where I realized that the only way I could help any of my fellow runners out there beyond my reach in Michigan is to share this information online with any of you searching for a solution. With each patient I see, I know that anywhere there are runners, there are so many injured runners. So this program, with the 125-page ebook, the personalized workout ramp-up plan, video and audio files, is my way of reaching out to you to give you all my clinical, professional, and personal knowledge to get you back out there, running strong and running smart. Click below the arrow button now to get started on your path to recovery. Don't wait. This special introductory rate won't last long. Get your full Smart Running Solution program by clicking below the arrow now.